Getting ready to hop on the plane to Murray, Kentucky. The Bison will be doing that later today as well. Join us for Bison Game Day live tomorrow at 10 a.m. from Roy Stewart Stadium. And then the football game, yeah, we got it back. We've been off for the last couple of weeks. Good to be back with the guys tomorrow. Join us, 1 o'clock, North Dakota State, Murray State. Bison are coming in a beat-up crew here. Obviously, we talked about it earlier in the week with the injuries to Cole Payton, to Sam Young, to Oscar Benson. That's been a rash of injuries here over the last couple of weeks. That South Dakota State game took a toll, and we'll see what happens with the Jackrabbits coming up in their game tomorrow night with the University of South Dakota. Back with the Bison, obviously with the injury to Cole Payton in his season being done, changes the dynamic of the quarterback room now, with Cam Miller's primary backup is going to be Nathan Hayes, sophomore from just outside of Chicago, who has played in 4 career games. He's yet to throw a pass in a game. Got in 3 games last year against Murray, I believe, last year, Western Illinois, and against Drake. He got in a game this year against Tennessee State. People remember he ran for a 50-yard touchdown against the Tigers in the second game of the season. By all accounts, he may have the best arm on the team, and as we've seen, he's got maybe better wheels than we thought. I had a chance to visit with him up at the Fargo Dome earlier this week to get his thoughts about now being elevated up, what this means for his role, how it's changed even in practice over the last couple of days, and what can Bison fans expect out of number 12. Here's our conversation with Nathan Hayes.
You know better than anybody as a quarterback, it's the next man up. You never want to see anybody get hurt, but just describe your mentality now that you're the backup and how that's changed life in the last 48 hours for him.
Yeah, so, I mean, it doesn't change much as far as preparation. Like you said, obviously you never want to see someone go down, but that's kind of been the thing here, you know, going back to Easton, being able to step up. So it is a little bit different feeling, just being one play away from going in. But like I said, the preparation doesn't change. Got 2 great leaders in front of me. Cam and Cole do a great job preparing, and so it's been really cool to see them and how they attack things, and I've just been learning from them, and they do a great job teaching.
Bison fans, their first experience to you as you galloping down the sideline for a touchdown. Tell us, for people that don't know, about your QB style. What's the best way to describe how you play quarterback?
I'm a throw-first guy. I like to throw the ball around, but get the ball into some playmakers' hands. But I can do some scrambling as well. And when I do scramble, I like to throw, but I can also run the ball a little as well. So I think I have some versatility, but there's a lot of guys around me that are really good and can do a lot of good things as well.
Coach Polsek told me from the time he got here in December to now, you're just playing on just total growth. Tell me about that. I know you've been here 3 years. That's normally the time when things get going. In your mind, why have things really progressed well?
It all goes back to Cam and Cole, I think. They just continue to be great leaders, and I just continue to learn from them. And then fall camp was a big time for me, along with spring ball. And so I think I got a lot of good reps there, and they just kind of been, they keep stacking. The reps keep stacking, keep learning. And then Coach Hedberg does an amazing job as well, just teaching me about defenses and then the offense as well, just continuing to build my knowledge in the pass game and the run game.
I know you only practiced yesterday. Has it felt different now? Like you're getting the number 2 reps. Did it feel different last night?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a change, just getting more reps in the scout team. I have been doing some good on good reps in the past few weeks throughout the season, and that's a lot of game speed reps. But getting the scout team, getting some game looks that we're going to see is kind of a big change, but it's good to see the defenses get out there.
How tough is it to kind of weigh your emotions? I know you got to be devastated for Cole, but you got to be excited, like, okay, maybe a chance to play. How do you weigh that?
Yeah, you know, it is tough. I feel really bad for Cole, and you never want to see him or anybody go down, but that's kind of the nature of the game. So I am excited. I'm very excited to, if my name gets called, to go go out there and show what I can do. But yeah, but we're just gonna keep building up Cole, and because he still has time here left, and he's gonna be a great player moving forward. So we just got to keep embracing him as a leader, and he's going to keep doing a really good job. Okay,
so I've heard a couple times over, you got the best arm, biggest arm on the team. Tell me about that. Like, was that something? I know you played early in your high school career, but is that always, you always had a cannon, I guess, on the right arm?
Yeah, so I started out a big baseball guy. Yeah. So just going back to my childhood, I have my oldest brother, Jordan. He's 9 years older than me. So, I mean, from day one, I was in the backyard or at his games throwing a baseball around. So I think just being able to translate some of that power aspect and that being able to throw the ball, transfer the weight from pitching has always kind of led me to being able to have a strong arm, and then as well as just throwing year round. I've always, there's never really been a break. You go from baseball in the summer to football in the fall, back to baseball in the winter training. So just all year round, never really took time off, and it's kind of built some arm strength.
Were you ever clocked? Like how far did you throw it in baseball?
I topped at 96.
There you go.
So, but
besides pitcher, what else did you play?
I was mostly a PO in high school. Okay. So early on, I did do some hitting and played third base, but switched mostly to pitcher, and then I was able to do some more football stuff through that, just pitching on every fourth, fifth day. So I was able to do some football workouts and be around the football team more, so that was good for me.
I know I talked to you when you committed about with Kelton being here. Describe what that's been like the last couple, you guys doing this together, and I know he's had a chance to play, and now the door may be open for you to get on the field now.
Yeah, so I mean, Kelton's an awesome dude. We have a really good friendship. He's my best friend. And going back to when he first moved to St. Charles, freshman year of high school, we just kind of clicked. We have similar personalities. And then, I mean, I was hanging out with him 5-6 days a week in high school. So, I mean, yeah, he's like a brother to me. And it's been really cool to be able to get up here, live with him. I know his family comes up a lot. My family comes up a lot. And whenever we do, we always try to spend as much time as possible with each other, just because, I mean, that's just the relationship we have. So we just wish the best for each other. We love to see each other be on the field, and it's going to be the same moving forward.
I got to ask, last question, just personality-wise, how would you describe, sometimes quarterbacks are really vocal guys, others lead by example. How would you define yourself?
So that's kind of a tricky question for me, because I would say in high school I was more vocal, and being able to be that vocal leader that we kind of needed at the time. But then I got here, and it's kind of a little bit of a change, because Cam's in that spot where he can be a little more vocal, and then I'm in the position I'm in. I just try to lead by example, do the little things right, and then once you do the little things right, you start to build some respect of the older guys. And then when you kind of move up, that's when you can start being more vocal. But right now, I would say I just try to do the little things right and lead by example.
How much crap did you get on the sideline after that touchdown run? Were the guys just giving you a hard time on that one?
No, they weren't giving me a hard time. It was exciting, and everybody was excited. It was a really cool feeling, just getting up from that and seeing the amount of excitement on the team. So,
you ever run one that far, even in high school?
No, I haven't. I think that's my long.
Yeah. So when the play opened and you saw the seam, I'm like, what's going through your mind on that?
I was like, shoot, that's a lot of green grass. I got to score this.
Don't get caught, right?
Right, yeah. At the end, I kind of was slowing down a little bit. I had to dive for the pylon, but yeah, it was just a cool feeling, cool moment.
Conversation we had with Nathan Hayes, just to get people introduced to him, and we'll see if we see him on the field. If the game plays out the Bison would like it to, you'll certainly see him tomorrow. A little bit of background on him. He had, and we interviewed him, gosh, now this is 3 years ago. Summer of 21, he came on our show. Offers from Indiana State and Eastern Illinois. He heard his baseball conversation. He had multiple conversations, he told me, with Kentucky. Had an offer from St. Louis to play baseball. Indiana State offered him in both sports, and we know how good their baseball program is 6'3", 206. And there's no doubt he can. We haven't seen him throw it yet. You saw a little bit of highlights of the spring game where he could, and he played well. He played a lot in the spring game, the Green and Gold Showcase, whatever you call it, last April. Mentioned a teammate, high school teammate, now college teammate of Kelton McCaslin. Threw for 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns as a sophomore, as he was the start. He actually got started in the starting lineup as a freshman at St. Charles East and scored on that touchdown run, as we mentioned, against Tennessee State. And this is now I don't know if dilemma is the right word, with Peyton's injury and being done, that I don't know if you're certainly not going to see any quarterback run game this weekend with Cam Miller. I'm not giving away the game plan to Murray State. I think they probably understand that full well. They've got their own issues they're worried about rather than the Bison. I think you heard that with Zeb Nolan when he joined us yesterday on the show, that they're more concerned probably with what's going on their own team, let alone what the Bison are bringing to the table. But I think that specifically for this week, you're not going to see. Cam ran it a few times last week against the Jackrabbits, but that's not going to happen tomorrow, simply now with the luxury not being there of Cole Payton. I think it was then said of why they had Payton split out early in the season and trying that they had full confidence in Hayes, that he could come in there and run the offense. And I think if there's an opportunity that presents itself, they will do that tomorrow, maybe even next week with Northern Iowa. The Bison are just trying to get to the bye week here. You know, they have 2 games, not saying that they're just going to be walkovers here. I think if I learned anything from the East Tennessee State game, and granted ETSU is better than we thought, I don't think Murray is in that same boat. Murray, there's 7 games on tape. They are what they are. They're not good. Defensively, they're not good. They've got some issues up front. But you give them a little bit of life. We have no idea what kind of atmosphere awaits us tomorrow. When I say us, I mean our crew, just to broadcast the game. None. They had 16,000 people there on last Saturday. I have no idea if that is the crowd that's coming tomorrow. Weather looks like it's going to be pretty decent, about 70 degrees and sunny. Looks like a perfect fall day tomorrow for football. No idea if that's the crowd that's going to be at the game tomorrow. I think just get in, take care of business, much like they did against Southern Illinois. Get in there, take care of business, do what you got to do, and get back on the airplane and go home. With a Northern Iowa team that's staggering right now. UNI's got Mo State this week in Cedar Falls, and they've had a brutal schedule, Northern Iowa, which we'll chat about more next week, that they played the 2 FBS teams. They've already played both the South Dakota schools. They got ripped by UND last week. Now Mo State. Then they got to go back on the road and come to Fargo. That, I don't know, have you harder schedule than that. I really don't. They played Nebraska and Hawaii. They already played the Jacks and the Coyotes. UND, Mo State's pretty good, and then the Bison. That is a rough go of it. And then the Bison finally have a week off to try and get some guys healthy. They're going to get a couple guys back tomorrow, it looks like, but they need some time just to rest. I mean, think of it. They've been going, fall camp started, whatever it was, July 29th. It's October 25th. I mean, the Vikings have had a bye week before the Bison have. And I get that's the schedule. But they're going to be one of the latest bye weeks in college. Other college teams will already have a second bye for the Bison have their first. Just the way it worked this year. But it's a long time between football games. As you look at the Valley standings heading into the weekend, you see Murray there at the bottom. And they still have to play the Jackrabbits, does Murray State, ahead on this schedule. Be interesting to see what plays out tomorrow. We're due for a break. We come back. We'll wrap up hour one with a special This Day in Sports History moment. It's a good one to reflect on before we wrap up our first hour.